Mick Schumacher is making headlines again, as whispers of a dramatic return to Formula One circulate. After being overlooked for several open seats during the chaotic 2024 silly season, discussions between Sauber and Mattia Binotto are intensifying about the possibility of an all-German team for the newcomers in 2026. But should Mick be granted a fresh chance in the sport, especially if he ends up teaming up with the very driver who replaced him? To navigate this challenging landscape, he will require the mentorship of an experienced figure, and that's where Sebastian Vettel comes into play. Can Sebastian guide Mick as his father did for him in his early days in F1? If that happens, could Mick shine in his second stint in the sport? One of the most captivating narratives in the current F1 season centers around Mick Schumacher. The young German racer has received a lifeline from Audi's COO, Mattia Binotto, who confirmed that they are engaged in serious discussions to secure Mick with a long-term contract. The team is currently evaluating whether to lean toward youthful talent or seasoned experience. With the prospect of introducing fresh faces from 2025 onward, the emphasis seems to be shifting toward youth. When asked about Mick's potential role at Sauber and his affiliation with Audi, Binotto remarked that they have the luxury of time to make their decision, especially since rival teams have already finalized their rosters. This situation presents two crucial factors: the need for experience to set a solid development path and the necessity of a skilled young driver who can accompany them on their ascent to greatness. Mick Schumacher is certainly under consideration. Binotto shared his long-standing relationship with Mick, having been involved in the Ferrari Driver Academy, which has allowed him to recognize both Mick's strengths and areas for growth. Notably, Mick has excelled in the lower Formula tiers, having claimed championships in both Formula 3 and Formula 2. While his initial experiences with Haas may not have met expectations, it doesn't negate the potential he holds to thrive in Formula 1. It's essential to acknowledge that Mick's journey has not been without challenges. Even during the latter half of 2022, when he faced pressure to secure points and fell short, he frequently outperformed his teammate, Kevin Magnussen, which raises questions about the car's overall performance. A significant concern throughout Mick's F1 career has been his tendency to crash, resulting in substantial financial losses for Haas, which ultimately led to team principal Gunther Steiner deciding to part ways. Now, as Sebastian Vettel appears poised to influence Mick's future in racing, it's clear that while Vettel was once linked to a return himself, he may be content to take on a mentorship role instead. Despite the unlikely prospect of Sebastian returning to racing, the presence of a four-time world champion guiding Mick could significantly elevate his confidence. Steiner believes that mentorship from someone of Sebastian's caliber would be invaluable for Mick's resurgence in the sport. It's interesting to note that Steiner, who played a pivotal role in Mick's previous stint, is now reflecting on the complexities of the situation rather than placing blame solely on Mick. He draws parallels to the impact Mark Webber has had on Oscar Piastri's career, where Webber's management has been instrumental in Piastri's rapid growth. Steiner emphasizes the importance of securing the Audi seat for Mick. Currently, there are no other openings on the horizon, and with the influx of young talent in 2024, it will be even more challenging for Schumacher to establish his worth. Steiner elaborates on the difficulty of Mick's situation, noting that after being away for about 3 years, he lacks the extensive experience many of his peers possess. The previous 2 seasons were rather mediocre, which adds another layer of challenge. Nevertheless, there remains a glimmer of hope for Mick at Sauber, especially since he has displayed flashes of potential as a driver. The dream of an all-German lineup is still alive, and with Binotto's affirmation of interest in Mick, it suggests that Audi isn't ready to close the door on him just yet. However, the notion that they are determined to make this happen is somewhat exaggerated. Sauber's other options complicate Mick's chances further, particularly when considering what Franco Colapinto has been accomplishing. Although that seat is earmarked for Carlos Sainz, Colapinto is part of the Williams Academy, and there are indications that Sauber could utilize his talents while ensuring he remains tied to Williams. As the situation unfolds, Valtteri Bottas, the current seat holder, remains an integral part of the narrative. He has been relatively reserved about his position, labeling it an ongoing process, and believes he will receive fair treatment. However, Bottas recognizes the limitations of Sauber's competitiveness at this juncture in his career. He finds himself in a unique position, where his performance can only be accurately assessed in direct comparison to his teammate, who has struggled significantly against him. This sets the stage for a thrilling upcoming season, especially with Sauber holding the final spot on the 2025 grid. They must make their decisions sooner rather than later, as Binotto himself has indicated that the current uncertainty is placing the team under considerable strain. The objective is to eliminate speculation and focus on the larger goals at hand. With all these developments, who do you believe will claim the second seat at Sauber? If Mick Schumacher is granted this opportunity, do you think he possesses the skills to reclaim his place in the sport? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the video popping up on your screen right now. Here's a detailed outro that you can use to wrap up your video effectively. As we conclude our exploration into Mick Schumacher's potential return to Formula One, it's clear that the landscape is rife with possibilities and uncertainties. The narrative of a young driver seeking redemption, backed by a legendary mentor like Sebastian Vettel, is a compelling story that resonates deeply within the racing community. Will Mick seize this opportunity to prove himself, or will the challenges of returning to such a competitive environment prove too daunting? We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Mick's journey? Do you believe he has what it takes to reclaim his spot among the elite drivers in Formula One? And how crucial do you think mentorship from seasoned veterans is in shaping the careers of young talents? Your insights and opinions are vital, so drop your comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated on the latest F1 news, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have more exciting content lined up, including in-depth analyses, driver spotlights, and race previews that you won't want to miss. Thank you for joining us on this ride today. Make sure to check out the next video appearing on your screen now, where we dive into more thrilling stories from the world of motorsport. Until next time, keep the adrenaline high and the wheels turning.